Okay, so today we're going to talk about how people lived life in the past and how they lived life in the present. We're going to be able to compare the clothing they wore, the ways they communicated with one another. We're going to discuss different types of technology, all kinds of things, okay? So, what I want you to do before we jump on into this lesson, I want you guys to tell me what you know about past and present. Okay, so now that everybody has had a chance to put their answers up here, let's go over what everybody said real quick, okay? Okay, now that we have discussed with a partner, I want us to just discuss as a class what we think past and present means. And we'll do that right after we watch this video. I want you to direct your attention to this screen over here. We're going to watch this video of past and present, a cartoon for you guys, and I want you to pay attention and let's see if we can figure out what past and present mean, okay? And then we'll share our thoughts whenever we're done watching the video, okay? Okay, guys, so I want, now that we've watched our video and had our discussion about the different types of things that we saw in the video, and we really defined what the past and the present were, I want everyone to stand up with me. Let's do our vocabulary together. So we're going to stand up. We're going to say the word together. We're going to do a movement for the word, and then we're going to say the definition, okay? So I'll show you just to start. So we're going to say the word past, and we're going to do like that with our hands, like back, like it's behind us. It's in the past. It's already happened. And then we'll say the definition. So we'll say past, events that happened before now, past, okay? So let's do the word present together. Okay, guys, so I want everyone to come up to the carpet up front real quick, and then we are going to read our story, Then and Now, A Journey Through the History of Machines. And while we read this book, I want everyone to pay attention. That way we can see the different types of technology and machines that they had in the past, and we'll discuss how they are different from the technology and the machines that we have in the present, okay? Okay, guys, so everybody look at the screen over here, okay? As you can see, we've got different pictures of apparel. Remember, we learned that apparel, it just has to, it's the same thing as like the clothing that people wore. And as we know, their style, as you can see, is a little bit different than our style that we have today, right? The clothing that we wear today is a little bit different. Can anybody look what's on our projector over here? And can anybody tell me, show me some evidence? Remember, evidence is just a sign which shows that something exists or is true. Remember, we've learned this. So can anybody show me some evidence that would help us to show how the fashion or the apparel that they wear is different in the past compared to the present? Okay, so now we're going to talk about the different types of communication that they had in the past. So I want you to look at, obviously, I think some of you can guess what this is over here, but I wonder this device, as you can see on the screen up on our projector here, what do you think that item is? It's got a little telephone thing there, but what do you think it is? That's how people would actually communicate with each other. We didn't have smartphones or the things that we have today. We couldn't text people or send them an email. In the past, they had to write letters to each other. Could you imagine having to do that? Okay, so now we have technology, and technology was, there were various types of technology in the past that they used, and today we have a lot more advanced technology. I want you to turn and talk with your table. Do you think that their life was easier in the past, or do you think their life was harder? Okay, so how many of you play video games or you watch TV for fun, or name, what are some things that you all like to do for fun? Okay, guys, so now that we've talked about that, let's discuss our primary sources. What do you think some primary sources are today? Well, how do you think that they did that in the past? Okay, so now it is time for our game time. But before we do that, I have a variety of items that I want you all to be able to look at, okay? What I want us to do next, okay? I want you to draw a picture on your paper of what you think life would be like in the past if you were to live in the past. What if sometimes there are people who had more money than other people, right? Or maybe people lived in different parts of the world, so maybe their clothes were different. I want you to write me 2 facts, okay, on the back of how you think life or two facts on the back of how life in the past was different than life in the present. Okay, everyone. So I want you to think about life in the future. What kind of clothes do you think you would wear? What kind of communication and technology do you think that we'll have in the future? And I want you to discuss it with your classmates, and then we'll all reflect and share our answers together. Okay? Okay, everyone. So I hope that you all enjoyed my lesson plan for today. So I wanted to go over a few things with you about my lesson plan. So, of course, if you couldn't already tell, this is a first grade lesson for teaching them about the past versus the present. So the students had a variety of objectives to fulfill throughout this lesson, which all of the activities that I included fulfilled those learning objectives and, of course, the standard itself. But the ways that I was able to differentiate my instruction throughout was I included scaffolding throughout. Of course, you saw that cartoon at the very beginning. I included literature in the lesson, and I also made sure every activity within the lesson incorporated every learning style. So you got your kinesthetic learners whenever they are getting up and doing the movement vocabulary. Excuse me, you've got your visual learners that are able to see the pictures, every learner benefits whenever they're able to see visuals. But also, I had the different objects, the fake money of the past and different things like that they were able to really connect to a deeper level to everything that I had taught them, the concepts that were taught to them throughout this lesson. Additionally, I had them do group discussions, peer discussions. We had a lot of class discussion, which was really, of course, supported by the social constructivist learning theory, which was great for, the students getting to interact with one another and learn a variety of things. Additionally, for the EL students, or even students who had, reading disabilities or, different learning disabilities throughout the classroom, I incorporated those visual aids for them to see. They also had those tangible objects to touch, which can really help them make those connections because they're not having to focus on decoding words or anything like that. I am simply explaining to them verbally and providing them with those visual aids for them to see. Also, I was reading the text that I included about the machines in this lesson. I read it aloud to the whole class, so it wasn't that the individual student was having to read it to themselves. They were reading it to I was reading it to the entire class. Furthermore, I included culture and diversity throughout this lesson. Students were taught about, how there's some families weren't as wealthy as other families throughout, the past and, the present. Kids can relate to that as well. But I would, tell them that, for instance, when I showed them the rotary phone, I told them that, some people couldn't even afford that depending on the lifestyle that they had. Or, I had them think about their own home life, the ways that they dress compared to the past. And everybody has their own style. Everybody comes from a different culture, a different background. So it was a great way to get them thinking about the diversity that is in their classroom, and then to hear the others' responses for, everybody comes from a different background, different beliefs, a different culture. For them to share their answers amongst one another is a great way that I was able to incorporate that culture and that diversity into the classroom and help them to understand, for it to not to just be a one-sided narrative. And then, of course, I did incorporate literature into my lesson. The book was Then and Now, A Journey Through the History of Machines, as you can see throughout my PowerPoint. Additionally, I included, as I said previously, language arts into this lesson through the students, me reading the literature that I chose for them. I read that to them aloud, and then the students had to write 2 facts about how the past is different from the present. And so that was them incorporating writing into the lesson. And then lastly, I asked them, how many years has it been since I was your age? Because they know that I am 23 years old. So when they know how long has it been since I was your age, they are able to incorporate math into that moment. But anyways, that is all I wanted to share with you all. I hope that you all enjoyed my lesson plans, and I hope that everyone is having a great semester so far. So thank you so much for watching.